Look, I tried drawing a girl for the first time.
Female anatomy! Gooner!
Sigh, this is certainly the topic of all time. Not particularly a topic that I have a jolly old time discussing, but of course TikTok's art community's stupidity doesn't cease to amaze me. So of course I wanted to discuss it, since it interested me, not in a whimsy way and oh dear god I can't look away kind of way. This is such a stupid topic, like almost all of the TikTok topics. And that's the misuse of a slang term, which I honestly wouldn't care about if it didn't mean many innocent artists were being harassed over this. God, this is so unserious. Brainwash slang? Really? You guys couldn't think of anything better. First the pro shipper art style, now the gooner art style. How many stupid non-existent style names are there? Like, for real. These things don't actually exist and are meant as insults. You cannot categorize a group of people into one art style. Hey there yappers, it's Bree with another commentary. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for my goal of 105,000 subscribers. Every time I reach a milestone like 100, 1,000, now 100,000, I like to make smaller goals that eventually get bigger as I progress. But enough of that, my super thank yous. Kazuna Andy, Cider, Homestuck Lobotomy, Either Al, Misha's Mother, God Studios, and Rendezvous Raiden. As usual, sorry if any names are said wrong, and if you aren't here, you'll be in the next one. Also, before we begin, this video is recommended for older audiences, since while nothing 18 up is in depth spoken about or shown, the term gooner isn't exactly younger audience friendly, so yeah. I got loads of other cool videos like me playing Regretivator or drawing Human Bill Cipher, or you could watch other lovely creators instead. But yeah, back to the video. Okay, a gooner, what is that? If you don't know what that means, God, this is so hard to explain in YouTube safe terms, but it's basically a brain rot term to basically say someone watches a little bit too much corn, and it's mainly a joke term, in most cases just used to make fun of someone. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but that's just the only definition I really saw when looking into this. And it honestly checks out considering the context I see it being used in. I believe it had another meaning before it got turned into this, so if it did, let me know. But I heard this term a lot over on TikTok, but never actually fully understood it. But since the art community over on TikTok created a whole style genre of it, I was intrigued. I was honestly surprised Art Talk adapted this term. Actually, no, I'm not. It's usually used as an insult, and since this community consumes hate and drama like it's a life source, it's actually extremely believable. But a lot of people use this term to describe very sexualized anatomy like big thighs and chests. And to be honest on the topic, you do you. I just ask if you make suggestive works, borderline or explicit corn, just keep it restricted with warnings or on platforms meant for this sort of content or have higher age restrictions. Because honestly, I see no problem with suggestive works or corn art. But if it's easily accessible to kids, that's where it's an issue. Of course, kids will break boundaries a lot and step into areas they really shouldn't, but using that as an excuse to not be safe is stupid in my opinion. You should make an effort to keep it out of the hands of kids, and if they step into your spaces, it's not your fault. But not caring at all, since kids will still push through the restrictions, is reckless and gross. I honestly wasn't a big fan of this art style name, since it was just a whole stick of ew, NSFW, PU, suggestive art. Since I just say stay away from it if you dislike the content, instead of bullying people for something that's usually drawn just for fun and it's harmless. But since TikTok is mainly kids and teenagers, do I expect less? Of course not. But anyway, it was mostly kids just insulting this type of art with this term, or insulting artists who happened to fit into the box that the art community just didn't like and wanted to find a way to degrade them, which I was already not fond of. And then I kept seeing the term, and seeing it, and seeing it. And TikTok did what it loves to do, and watered down the term even more into mush. Like, I hated this term before, but God was it even more annoying. Female anatomy that's even slightly curvier than normal? Gooner! Big chests? Gooner! If you were not drawing your OCs flat, you were a gooner. I think I actually saw a literal child get their art called the Gooner art style, simply for making a plus-size OC have a bigger chest. Which apparently we need to have a chat TikTok. You see TikTok? When you have fat, it isn't limited to the stomach. It's gonna be in your chest and thigh area too. And this might be a revelation since most of y'all spend every waking second online, but if you look over to the rectangular thing in your house, it's actually called a door. And if you open it, you'll see something called the real world. And if you go out there, you'll see, okay, I'm sorry. And it's not even like exaggerated features like you'd think of for the Gooner art style. It was literally just fat OC. That's it. And now that I think about it, actually, just a bunch of plus-size OCs get called Gooner art in general. Again, mainly just females. And if you're wondering, when it comes to men, I only ever see it when it comes to people's sonas, or existing characters the artist may have made a bit harder than the canon, and then people just get mad about it. But with plus-size OCs, that term is thrown around like crazy. That or fat fetishization? I'm not even joking, if you draw more than 6 plus-size people on your page, this term is just tied to a brick and chucked to your head. The brick flying 100 miles per hour at your skull gives less brain damage than trying to figure out this logic. Like, can we not draw fat people? Does this scare you, TikTok? It's so weird too, because no one bats an eye when artists only draw skinny people, but when you give them just a bit more meat on their bones, gooner, fetishizer, ew, stinky. Hello? If you're gonna do that, at least also complain about artists only drawing skinny people, or actually, no, scratch that. Better idea. Hear me out on this, guys. Let people draw whatever bodies they want. Who gives a shit if someone enjoys drawing a certain body type? As long as they aren't making fun of the body types that they don't draw, then I don't see an issue with just drawing a body type that you have fun working with. I swear, people are brain dead at this point if this is an issue. And before you pull the, well, it's promoting unhealthy body types. This work is stylized. Like every style that has ever had the misfortune of hearing someone utter the word GOONER art about it is stylized. Since the dawn of time, cartoons have had exaggerated features, including the bodies. Why is it only a problem when a random hobby artist does it? If it's literally just a harmless drawing of a body type with no ill intent, leave it be. I actually have a mutual who deals with this insult, and I think people forget exaggerated features are a major factor in stylized work. And the same goes for bigger chests or thighs. Who cares? Many artists have exaggerated features on their work, and as long as it isn't sexualized or corn available to minors, why is it an issue? If it's again just harmless drawings of a body type with no ill intent, leave it be. And female anatomy does not automatically mean sexualized, and it's so weird how common this idea is. The day people stop harassing artists for dumb reasons like this is the day I rest, I swear. Now, I get if someone was being all creepy and weird about people's bodies and making everyone uncomfortable, but most of these people are just artists, existing, drawing what makes them happy. And this may be an unpopular opinion because so many artists get relentlessly bullied for this, but if an artist switches their style and has the quote-unquote gooner style later on, and they just make NSFW and suggestive works, as long as they're of age posting this, where it's set so kids can't just randomly stumble across it, there's nothing wrong with that. If they set the restrictions, and they're just having fun, who cares? Sure, a lot of people find this type of art gross, and you're entitled to your opinion on specific forms of art, as long as that opinion isn't expressed in a way that affects others negatively. Like, you're free to have that opinion, but the second you start harassing others for it, get out. If an artist is having fun and they're happy, why make a fuss? Why put them under a label that's intended to be mean and degrading? Sure, it's upsetting if you like their style or their art, and you don't even want to view it anymore because you're not fond of that content or new style, but at the end of the day, we should encourage artists to post the work that makes them happy, as long as it isn't harmful and they aren't being problematic. Artists aren't machines that only produce what you want, and we shouldn't turn on them since you can't handle these topics maturely. It's still a form of art, a form of expression, whether you like it or not. People constantly say artists should draw what they want and be free from these restrictions, but draw the line at harmless content that they do not like personally. Like, if I had a penny for every time an artist said, like, hey, don't harass people for what they want to draw, and then switch up when it comes to an artist that they like posting this type of content, I would be rich. Like, why are the standards dropped when it's just content that you personally don't like? I don't get it. And I fear I might get hate for this opinion. Because unfortunately, people treat the topic of this form of art like a kindergartner saying P.U. to a fart joke. But anyway, the term gooner in general has just been watered down entirely, and is thrown around as an insult like crazy. Unfortunately though, this is common on TikTok with so many things. This won't change. Same with bullying artists over petty shit and making whole style names to degrade someone. It's probably not gonna change ever. But speaking of styles though, god damn, the art community does not shut up about art styles. Most of my recent videos have the word style said so many times, it doesn't even sound like a real word. It cannot be that serious. TikTok harasses people for their styles, art style over categorization, art style theft, art style, art style, art style. It is so dumb and immature to categorize a group of people into one style, and then attack anyone who may resemble this style in any way. Like, it's not a real style. How are they supposed to know they're not allowed to draw like that? Is it just me? Comment your opinions on this, preferably respectfully, and yeah. That's it for today though. Like if you liked the video and subscribe if you like. Here are today's scrumptious brush codes. Remember to love your art, love others, and love yourselves. Bye-bye!